welcome to another top five Wednesday. I got coffee. I'm not gonna make a habit out of this. I'm gonna go back to tea in the next video, and the next video will probably be today. So today's topic for top five Wednesday is books to get you out of a reading slump. I don't know why I'm speaking with a British accent, but it's early. I don't sleep that much. I'm having coffee. I'm still Puerto Rican, and Jack Sparrow lives within me. I don't know. Reading slumps are something that are happening a lot. I don't know if it's the month of February. Uh, uh, Seasonal depression is setting in. I don't know if people push too hard in January, but a lot of people fell in slumps, including me. So instead of just saying five books, I can say five types of books and different titles because the more the merrier, eh? First off, if you're in a reading slump, read poetry. Not necessarily Emily Dickinson, because Dickinson, although wonderful and beautiful, is kind of a heavy read. So, um, three, three recommendations. Uh, Charles Bukowski, if you want something intense and pretty raw, but with a punch and very well written. Maya Angelou, I don't have it here. I'll have to, and I have to do a video review of that. I have a collection of hers that's called Poems. It's like a general collection, very good, very varied. If you're looking for something for the versathon or anything, that's a good option. Or if you're looking for something for the versathon, I'm Puerto Rican. That makes my poetry diverse, and I have four poetry collections. Okay, hey, we fell into self promotion. Didn't mean to, but cool. And I don't have my books here, so I can't show it off. But okay, why not? I have four poetry collections: Between the Tides, Dark Strands, Captured Moments, and in Spanish, Pensando en Metáforas. So, sure, why not? Okay. I said I was gonna work on doing more self promotion, and it should have been better planned than this. But screw it, I'll take it. Um, Another thing you can read is graphic novels. I've seen a lot of people that are going graphic lately, and that's cool. I've found various things that are great in graphic novels, but I do have to search for things that are a bit lighter. And most of the things that I read are very dark. And I think the only one that I haven't mentioned of the ones that I've really loved has been Outlaw Nation. Outlaw Nation it's in the vein of Preacher. It's violent. It's got southern humor and the southern sensibilities of violence, but it's super well written until getting to the end. They were hitting their stride. It was awesome. It was great. And then the comic got canceled, and they had to wrap everything up, and it shows. You know when a series gets canceled, but they can finish the season? That. It's a shame because the writing was so on point and so solid, and the characters were so memorable. The storyline was so messed up. Uh, Definitely, if you want to read something that's unconventional, uh, both Preacher and Outlaw Nation are way out there and way violent. Preacher much more violent than Outlaw Nation, but it's not like Outlaw Nation is mellow. Uh, but yeah, graphic novels are great. You can, if you've wondered about your favorite superheroes that you love in theaters, check out their graphic novels and see which one are the best. Batman graphic novels are awesome, and right now I'm actually going to show you one I'm reading because I got into a slump, and I'm reading Batman's Hush, and this is badass, bat ass. Um, Artwork is by Jim Lee. Jim Lee is pretty amazing. On the storyline, it's not my favorite, but it's high up there. And I say it's not my favorite, not to diss Hush so far, and I'm just I've gotten in like four of the issues that are in this collection. Um, but I've read others that are so awesome that it's hard to top. Even The Killing Joke, which is a standalone comic, or Batman Year One, or The Dark Knight Returns. I can when I get my books from Puerto Rico, I'll show you my Batman collection. It's not massive, but it is hardy. But yeah, graphic novels do help things to flow. Having the images makes it, you go like, oh, I don't have to read that much. And if you read Watchmen, Watchmen is like a novel. It is truly one of the few graphic novels that you go like, wow, that was a novel. I really need to get more Puerto Rican coffee because this is a Puerto Rican mug, but that wasn't Puerto Rican coffee. It's Colombian, which is but maybe I just didn't buy a good brand. If you have any recommendations of coffee that they sell stateside, uh, that is worthwhile, please let me know. Third on the list, kids reads. I was falling into this huge slump because, and I was going to the teen and YA section, and just just going to more than one Barnes and Noble or other bookstores and going like, I'm kind of not connecting. I don't know what's wrong. And then I went to the kids section or middle grade section, and my eyes went like, ah. Uh, there's something very refreshing of feeding the inner child, especially books that the inner child enjoys. Uh, I never read Percy Jackson, but when I saw it, I was like, oh, this is one of the books. Didn't love it, but still, I was more motivated to read that than any other thing. And middle grade books have that tendency. So middle grade and for younger audiences. So Roald Dahl is a great, you can read a Roald Dahl book in like 2 hours. One of the longer ones. One of the shorter ones, you can read that in half an hour. Easy. And it's fun and it's inventive and it's creative and it's sweet. The Borrowers is also a nice series. The last book, not so much because first three books are good. Then the fourth and fifth books are like the same storyline from different perspectives. Kind of got weird. Um, and definitely the best are the first three. And if you're wondering what the Borrowers are, if you've ever seen the animated movie The Secret World of Ariete, that storyline. And it's more British, um, or just more literary in the books. I know that sounds stupid because it's a book, but uh, what I love about the movie is that it's an anime with a lot of soul and a lot of heart, and it's very sweet. The books are no different. And you can also go for a classic. You can go for Alice in Wonderland, which is actually I actually wouldn't recommend Alice in Wonderland. I love it, but if you're in a reading slump, I don't think it's a book that's gonna get you out of the slump. But Peter Pan, I would recommend. I do think that would get you out of the slump. I wouldn't recommend Alice because sometimes it's a bit tricky to follow. It's, it's not as linear and as easy to digest. There are scenes that are super classic in written form and in movie form, but still, some of it you go like, huh, and kind of get lost and have to reread it. So if you're in a slump, having to reread something to really get it, it's not gonna work, even if it's completely worth your time. If you're stuck, there are adventure books called. I remember from the '80s. My brother had a copy of one of the books. It was called Zork Adventures. I think he had the fourth volume. The cover had. I haven't seen this book in decades, and that makes me feel ancient, but it's true. I think it was someone that was getting wrapped by a snake, something like that. You're reading the book, and then it says you have to choose if you're going to go left or right. If you're going to go left, turn to this page. If you go right, turn to this page. Those are really fun, and I think it does make it fun and interactive to read. So that could help. Um, yeah, the Zork books can't be the only books like that. And I actually haven't read one of those books in a while, so I might look for something similar, or I might see if I can still find the Zork books. And finally, something super short. I recently read a book of quotations, Zen quotations, The Essence of Zen. It's a very lovely book. Um, some quotes are like one line, other times it's like the full page, but it varies the tempo so that you can get to reading. And you're reading stuff. It's like, some things are the equivalent of a fortune cookie, the other things are the equivalent of a good extract. And it always keeps you guessing, and there's always some profound passages to share, and I like that a lot. And lastly, something super short. I mentioned that. There's one more book. Where the Wild Things Are. Where the Wild Things Are has like 30 somewhat odd pages, and it's a gorgeous book, and it's an intense book. Not like the movie Intense, but it's just such a rich, visually rich book, and you know, picture books and books for younger readers might not have many words, but you don't need all the words in the world to make an impact. So those are my various recommendations in five different categories for top five Wednesdays. So if you have any comments about the things that I recommended, by all means ask. If you have any recommendations to get out of reading slump or did your own video, by all means, let me know so I can check out your video. And until next time, peace, love, and maki rolls.